friends? How you doing today? I am doing well, and this is probably a long-awaited review video. Yes, I'm doing a review video on a movie that I was forced to watch on Netflix. Yes, I was forced to watch it on Netflix because I pre-ordered my copy about a month and a half, 2 months ago, whatever, from Amazon, and it has not come in yet. And I'm watching all of my YouTube friends doing their reviews on the movie, and I watched it, and I feel like I need to do my review. So I was forced to stream. I streamed. Forgive me. I streamed because I could not wait anymore, because I've been hearing some terrible, terrible things about this movie, and I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt. Now, granted, I have watched multiple reviews, probably about 6 or 7 reviews from different YouTubers, ones that I'm like big fans of, some that I don't even know of, just randoms that I don't normally watch. But if it said what we're talking about today, the Munsters movie, Rob Zombie's The Munsters review, I watched it, and I was like, okay, what was the problem? Why is everybody having such a problem with this movie? Why is it really as bad as what people are saying it is? Or are people looking at this in the wrong way? That's where I was at with this. I was like, you know what? Everybody has their opinion, and that's all well and good. Okay. Not everybody's gonna like everything. Some people hate Star Wars. Some people love Lord of the Rings but hate Harry Potter. Some people hate Harry Potter but love Lord of the Rings. There's all different kinds of people out there. There's Trekkies, and there's people that are into Star Wars. There's going to be all kinds of different kinds of people out there, but I wanted to get my own opinion on this Rob Zombie's The Munsters. Now, let's get this straight. I am, in fact, a Munsters fan, okay? This is the Munsters complete TV series. Matter of fact, this is the second time I bought, well, third time I bought this. So I have this version, then I have it in a green version, and then I have it in the season 1 and season 2 version, and then I decided to buy this as like a space save. Okay, so this is the original Munsters with Fred Gwynne, and then this came out from it's a Scream Factory release of Munsters Go Home, and then I have the 2-pack of the Munsters on DVD of the 2 Munster movies there, and then I have Munsters Christmas, and when they did all those other extra Munster movies that didn't actually have Fred Gwynne in it, and the original Munsters cast. So I have been a fan of the Munsters for a long time. So I'm like, okay. So Rob is a big fan of the Munsters. I'm a big fan of the Munsters. I've seen every single episode. I used to come home from school, watch them at Nick at Night, watch them on Nickelodeon, and of course I'm not old enough to watch them for the first time. I saw them in reruns, okay, and then I watched the movie. So I was like, where is Rob going with this? Okay, where are all these YouTubers going with this? Why do they have such a problem? I mean, it's everywhere. It's on TikTok. It's on YouTube. People will just be complaining. Okay, so this is what I did. This was I felt like I needed to get myself into a mindset. Okay, this was the thing. Now, if you have not seen the Munsters movie yet on Netflix, it's streaming on Netflix. I watched it on Netflix, but I also bought a physical copy, and I'm going to buy a physical copy of the DVD separately. Want to know why? I actually enjoyed the movie. I actually enjoyed it, and I'm going to tell you why I enjoyed it. Now, to tell you the story about why I enjoyed it, I'm going to try to make this video as quick as possible, because I want to edit it. I want to get it out because everybody else has already had theirs out. I'm going to tell you why I enjoyed this movie. It has to start with this. H.R. Pufnstuf. Okay, here's the complete TV series, and here is the movie. Okay, now here's the story. I'm gonna hold the movie in my hand while I explain to you what happened. When I was young, I would say about 6, 7 years old or so, I remember very clearly, it was like on a Saturday. This aired on PBS, okay? I think it came on after Doctor Who, and after Sesame Street, and after all those things, and Mr. Rogers, it aired on PBS. Didn't know what it was, had no idea what it was, but I was in awe of the movie, okay? Now, I sat there, and this thing appeared, and I was just sitting there. My mother and father weren't really watching me or bothering me or whatever. I think my father was sleeping on the couch, if I remember correctly, and my mother wasn't even home. I think she was working. And I was sitting there, and I watched this movie from beginning to end. And the colors and the creatures and the whole story and concept of Billy and the magic flute and the whole thing altogether, it put me in like an awe situation. Okay, so for years I had no idea what this was. Okay, so the movie came on, it went for years. I asked about it, I talked about it, and nobody knew what the heck I was talking about. Then I got older and started discovering Land of the Lost. And once I discovered Land of the Lost, I discovered Lidsville, and I discovered the Bugaloos and all of the Sid and Marty Krofft stuff. And then H.R. Puffer stuff is number one. So I found this also. So I was like, I remember sitting there as a child and be like, wow, this is just a great storyline. What the colors popped. It was just a beautiful color palette of like, it was like when Willy Wonka opened up the doors to the factory, and the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and Gene Wilder opened up the doors, and you just saw the color. It was like when the Wizard of Oz, the house landed, and she opens up the door, and there's Munchkin Land. It was one of those things, just a color palette of beauty. Okay, now let's go with Rob Zombie's take on the Munsters. First of all, you gotta erase all of the things you know about the Munsters. I think, this is my personal opinion, what Rob was looking for with this movie is for some people to look at this movie with maybe fresh eyes, new eyes, childlike eyes. That's what I'm thinking about. If he made all these movies like Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses and all of that stuff, all that graphic, and then all of a sudden he decides to make a PG, kid-friendly, family-friendly movie. Okay, now I'll tell you right now, some of these other remakes of the Munsters have been real stinkers. Okay, some of these like the Munsters Christmas and when they use other characters, other people that play Herman. Okay, now granted, the man who played Herman Munster in this movie was not the best Herman Munster, and yes, the makeup and stuff, it was clearly very cheesy like. But I'll tell you right now, if you rewind yourself and you put yourself back in that 6, 7-year-old, 8-year-old position and stop thinking like you're 30, 40, 50, 60 years old and you've already lived through the whole Munsters series, you're gonna look at this thing and you're gonna look at it with kid eyes, and you're gonna be like, this has an interesting storyline. It has an interesting color palette. It has an interesting. I tried to look at it like, okay, I put myself back. I'm like, as a child, would I be afraid of this movie? Would I be scared of this movie watching this as a child? And I was like, no, I wouldn't be scared as a child watching this movie. I could actually I felt like I could sit down as a child. I put myself back in this child position. I sat down there and I made my bowl of popcorn and I sat there and I'm like, yeah, with the 70s cheese monkeys like disco things going on in the background, like when she falls in love with Herman, or Herman falls in love with her, sees her for the first time, to put the hots behind her, it made me feel like an old time 70s type TV show. That's what it made me feel like. Now granted, the makeup, if you're digging and poking and digging, yes, some of the stuff, like the Creature from the Black Lagoon character there, when he appeared, I was like, the original Creature from the Black Lagoon in that came out back in the day, the black and white there, the special effects and everything were a lot better than this creature that was created for this Rob Zombie movie. But maybe that's what Rob was looking for. Maybe what Rob was looking for, not to authenticate everything and make it 100%. And maybe he was trying to make it a little bit of a new. Maybe he was trying to make it more attractive and appealing to the eye. Now, I will tell you, this is another thing. From watching all these YouTubers and reviews and everything, they said once they reach it, they said the movie, I think, is like an hour and 50-something minutes or whatever. Which I was like, okay, it's an hour and 50-something minutes. But according to them, they said when they got to like the 50-something minute mark, they hit their streaming button there, and they looked at the time like, oh man, I got another 50-something minutes to go, and they were like all upset about this thing. So what I did is, as I'm watching it, whatever, I was getting into it. I was enjoying it, and I was getting into it, and I was enjoying the color. Matter of fact, when Herman and Lily were sitting at the beach or whatever, it was very reminiscent of the scene from Sweeney Todd with Johnny Depp. When she's singing that song, whatever, and she's got the outfit on and they're sitting at the beach together. I don't know. I was very reminiscent of that, and nobody really attacked Sweeney. I thought Sweeney Todd was like a work of art. But I was like, there was just so many different elements. And so 50 minutes into the thing or whatever, I'm like, I'm gonna see what's going on. Like why are people looking at the time stream thing and going, wow, sorry, I got another. Almost like they were like, had somebody put a gun to their head and they were like, oh, I got 50 minutes to go. I ain't gonna be able to make it through this thing. I was fine. I was seriously like, okay, if I was a little kid, 7, 8, 9 years old, and I discovered this thing, I would be in awe and watching it. I wouldn't be afraid. I'd be able to be alone. Now, maybe this comes from a child, that was left alone a lot watching movies and TV shows. Now you got to think of how a child would have reacted back in the early days with stuff like this. Like seeing a talking dragon. You know what I mean? Or seeing a witchy poo. You know what I mean? Witchy poo on the back here. You got witchy poo on the back. You know what I mean? You got to think about how they would have thought about it back in the day. Seeing all these colors and in a witch. You got an evil witch, and you got it. I'm telling you what this movie did. And you can comment below, is brought me back to my childhood. It brought me back to a very, very time of innocence and not so much like picking apart. This is what I do. That's what I do on this channel. I watch movies, I review movies, I pick them apart. That's what the adult me does. I pick things apart. When we reach a certain age, we all judgmental. We judging everything. We afraid of everything. We don't want to go on roller coasters. We know what those things are capable of. We don't want, listen. There's just a certain age where you just start picking things apart. And if you are a big fan of the Munsters, I mean, if you have tackled all of this stuff, okay, and you've seen Fred Gwynn and you listen to his laugh and you've grown accustomed to that awesome Fred Gwynn laugh, yeah, you're not gonna get that with this new Fred Gwynn. And bashing Sherry Moon Zombie for her portrayal of Lily, I gotta tell you, I kind of, as I'm watching it, I heard reviewers complain about how much she was overacting and motioning too much and whatever. So I had to bring myself back to watch an episode of the Munsters. I put the Munsters on, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch one episode of the Munsters and see what's going on. And I watched the oh wow, I'm not gonna pronounce his name right. Zombo. Myself, I hope I'm saying that right. You can be like, oh, you're a big Munster fan. You can't. Yeah, I want to say Zombie, but it wasn't. I believe it was Zombo. But I put that one back where wow. I'm drawing a blank. I'm trying to get this done as fast as possible. That's what's going on here. Where Eddie finds out that he's a fake, okay, and he takes the nose off and the whole thing like that. So I watched that episode because that's like one of my favorites. And I was watching the Lily mannerisms, the way she moved, the way she talked, it was almost like the overacting or the over what. I personally thought Sherry Moon Zombie did a great job as this newer Lily Munster. Now let's just face it. Number one, you're never gonna get in any movie that they try to remake, any remake or redo or reduh or whatever they want to call it, you're not going to get Fred Gwynn back. You're not going to get a perfect Herman. You're not going to get a perfect Lily. You're not going to get a perfect Grandpa. Grandpa, I thought, by the way, did a great job. And the other characters that showed up, I thought they did a great job too. And I'll tell you, yes, personally, I mean, I would have liked the Blu-ray to give you a option between black and white and color, like they did with Mad Max Fury Road. They came out with the was it silver and black edition or whatever. I think that eventually, I think Rob should release this thing with an option of black and white or color, because the black and white is just very remembrance of the original Munsters. But I don't think that's what he was looking for. I think he was looking for a new. I think he was looking for the story of the Munsters, but a fresh look at the Munsters. I'm trying to think of what the fresh eyes. Twilight Zone the movie. Yes, when the adults turn into kids, and the guy goes, you got to look at it with fresh young eyes, or fresh new eyes. I think he says something like that. And that's what I wanted to watch this. That's why I wanted to watch this with childlike approach. I watched it with childlike approach. Like, I tried to forget everything I knew about the Munsters. Everything. I tried to forget everything and just sat down and been like, I took it as, this is a TV show that I would be watching for the first time. Tried to put myself back as a child and think about how I felt. And I sat there and I watched it, and I got to tell you, I enjoyed it, and I will watch it again. I will watch it again. I still haven't got my physical copy yet from Amazon. I ordered it for I messed up. Pre-ordered from Amazon. It's like $12.95 at Walmart for the DVD and $14.95 for the Blu-ray. I should have just ran out and bought both. I'm gonna go buy the DVD for $12.95 because it only comes with the Blu-ray and the digital on Amazon, yeah, in the Blu-ray sets, the Blu-ray and the digital, that's all you get. So I am gonna buy the DVD because I actually enjoyed the movie. I'm sorry, you're gonna comment below, you're gonna bash me or blow me up or whatever you're gonna go do. And I've seen a lot of YouTubers saying I tried really hard and I just couldn't take it, I couldn't make it, I couldn't do it. And I don't, you know what? I don't get it. I don't get it. I think it's because the people that are watching it are looking at it very, very critical. Very, very critical. I mean, Munsters is a classic, okay? You when you're gonna remake a classic like a Lost in Space or stuff like that, like a Dennis the Menace or Little Rascals, if you're gonna remake that stuff, I'll tell you, when I watched the Little Rascal movies for the first time, the remake, okay, I was very, very critical. I'm like, that's not Alfalfa, that's not Spanky, that's not Dollar. But after watching the movie a couple times, I was like, I get it. If this was presenting this as a new to a child, it could introduce something amazing to a child. Now, I'm a strong believer that we keep the ball rolling. As far as it comes to media, movies, music, we keep the ball rolling. I mean, if we stopped talking about the Munsters, if we stopped watching the Munsters, if there was no Munsters for Rob Zombie Munsters that just came out, nobody would be talking about the Munsters. And people grow older and people die, and if you never introduce the Munsters, this stuff, to your children, they wouldn't even know what the Munsters are. So Rob just introduced the Munsters to children. He just introduced the Munsters to people that didn't even know what the Munsters were. And that's going to have them go seek this stuff out. They're going to go to Walmart. They're going to see this thing on the shelf. They're going to be like, hey, there's those guys again. There's those Munster guys again. I think I'm going to pick this up. So I think he opened the door. I think Rob opened the door for people to go out and seek out more Munster stuff, okay? That's what I think he did. And if they watched it and they hated it, not everybody's going to love this movie. Not everybody's going to love this. Like I said, me personally, I'm a Harry Potter guy. I tried to watch Lord of the Rings. I tried to watch I put in all the Lord of the Rings. I put in all the Hobbit movies. I fell asleep every single time. Okay, my son-in-law loves them. He's obsessed with them. He can tell you where they're from and their names. I can't. Okay, I bought the 2-hour versions. I bought the 3-hour version. I think I bought one that's like 6-hour versions, okay, of Lord of the Rings, and I could not make it. But you throw in a Harry Potter movie, I'm perfectly fine. So this movie itself is not going to be for everybody. It's just not. It's not going to be for everybody. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it or you're going to be on the fence. But the bottom line is, if you would just sit down and stop thinking I'm an overthinker. I'm OCD. I got a little bipolar disorder, and I am an overthinker. So if I would have just went into this thing, tearing this thing apart right from the start, looking for Fred Gwynn's laugh, looking for Lily Munster and the way she moves or whatever, looking for Eddie who's not even there, looking for all of this stuff, I probably would have been like, this is garbage. This is just a pile of garbage. And then even the color palette, we're so used to the black and white, but I guess we failed to forget that there was color Munster movies. The Munsters Christmas was in color, and there was a couple of other Munster movies that were in color. And when they put the Munsters, even when they colorized the Munsters, which there is a couple of Munster movies that are colorized, if you're so used to the black and white, you were off. You were off. You were like, this ain't, Munster shouldn't be colorized. The makeup looked a little cheesy, and I think that's what Rob was going for. I think he was kind of looking for a little bit of Munster cheese to broaden the horizon and open the minds of the children and maybe bring parents and children together. I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched any Rob Zombie interviews on this whatsoever. I am not a commentary guy, but I do hear that the Blu-ray does have the commentary by Rob Zombie. And for the first time in a long time since Jackass Part 1 or whatever, I am going to sit there and watch the Rob Zombie movie with the commentary on it because I want to hear what his intentions were. I want to know what he was trying to intend to do by making this movie. I know that he has a love for this movie. I know that he has a passion for this family. I know that he has a strong, strong love and passion for this franchise. So I don't think he sat there and tried to do it dirty. I think he had deeper feelings, a deeper something going on about this. Now, another thing I'm just going to throw out there really quick. A lot of people are complaining about the set designs, okay? It cost them so many millions of dollars to make this movie. What did it cost $1 million to make this movie? Because the costumes and the whatever and the makeup or whatever were terrible. Everything was terrible. But I'm going to tell you, the set designs, I went to go visit Salem once. I went to Salem once my whole life, in Salem, Massachusetts, whatever. I've always wanted to go to Salem. I went to Salem one time. And I'm telling you, when certain parts of the movie, when he's walking and when they're walking through these different areas, when they're going through the graveyard, they're going through this thing, with the colors of the moonlight and the colors of the characters and it gave me a cool, like a cold October feel. Okay, it just did. It gave me a cold October feel. Like I felt like I knew where those characters were. And if he did build this set from scratch, that's where the money went. I thought it was kind of cool. I just thought it was almost like I was watching a play of the Munsters back in the day. Now, once again, bring yourself back to this, my friends. Bring yourself back to when you seen H.R. Puffer stuff for the first time. That the trees were painted like wood. I mean, it was a set like a play. I mean, but you watched it and you loved it. I don't see too many people attacking H.R. Puffer stuff. It's because that's what we had. That's what we remember. So if you watch this new Munster movie for the first time, you're going to, and you don't remember the rest, and you put all the rest of the stuff behind, you're gonna look at this thing with fresh eyes, and you're gonna be like, yeah, I kind of get it. And if you have children, bring them alongside you and have them sit down and watch it with you. A lot of viewers reviewers are saying that the kid, he doesn't even know who this was targeted for, because kids ain't gonna get the humor, and adults are gonna get the humor, and not everything's so funny, and there's a lot of cheesy jokes. There's a lot of cheesy jokes. I didn't laugh out loud once, but I never laughed out loud during the Munster TV series either. I want you guys to think back to that either. Did you ever just sit there and just laugh out loud during the Munster TV series? No, but there was the corny jokes, the cracky jokes were there, but you never really like busted out laughing like you were watching like a Dumb and Dumber or American Pie or whatever your comedy of choice is, Animal House or whatever your comedy of choice is where you just laughed out loud. But the jokes and everything, I'll tell you right now, children watch TV cartoons. Like I grew up with my kids watching SpongeBob, and some of you adults, you probably had to sit down and watch SpongeBob with your kids. They put adult humor in with the cartoon so that the adults could enjoy the cartoon as much as the children. So maybe that's what Rob was looking for too. Like, yeah, there's a lot of jokes in there that kids ain't gonna get, but there's a lot of jokes in there that adults are gonna get. And there's a lot of stuff that's in there that kids are really gonna enjoy, like the costumes and the makeup, that the adults aren't gonna enjoy because they're ripping it apart and they're like, oh yeah, I want my old Herman Munster back. Well, I'm sorry, he ain't coming back, okay? Unfortunately, that's just the way it is, and this is what Rob presented for us. And I waited a long time to see this movie, and I pre-ordered this movie, and I waited with great anticipation to watch this movie, and I may be a tad bit biased. I mean, I got a tattoo of Rob Zombie on my arm, okay? That's how much of a Rob Zombie music fan I am, and movie fan I am. I think Rob Zombie is just amazing. His movies have kind of, not really, I'm not gonna say they changed my life, but I'm kind of, I got a little bit of obsession with Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses. I just think that they're great movies. He brought back that old grindhouse feel of like just these raw, tear 'em up movies. You know what I mean? Where you're like sitting at the edge of your seat, like what's gonna happen next? So I think that there's a place for this Rob Zombie's Munsters somewhere. The thing is, I think you guys need to watch this with fresh young eyes and stop being so like overly judgmental. It is what it is. It's created, it's done, it's out there, it's in the world, it's in the universe, it's part of the books. You go on your Internet Movie Database, it's there. It's forever going to be there alongside the rest of the Munsters franchise. Like I said, if you were to watch some of the older color stuff, Munsters Christmas or Munsters, you would be like, this is kind of an improvement from that, because it is. I mean, even the Nosferatu character there at the beginning, I was like, when I first saw him, I was like, this is, and I thought it was kind of funny. It was kind of cute and funny. They're going on a date, and he's showing him pictures of his rats and everything like that. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. I could be totally wrong. But you know what? We're gonna open a forum. We're gonna comment below. You're gonna comment, and if you have not seen the Munsters movie yet, give it a chance. It's an hour and 50 something minutes. It's on Netflix. I don't like to promote streaming, but if you can't get the physical copy, a lot of people are saying don't buy the physical copy. If you own it, burn it. Listen, this is it's not that bad. Calm down. Just breathe. It's not that bad, okay? You don't have to go out and burn your physical copy of the Munsters, okay? It's actually, I thought it was very enjoyable, and I am going to put it alongside of this and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 other Munster adaptations of the same thing that I already own on DVD. And I would like to get a Blu-ray. It would be nice if they released a Blu-ray version of the Munsters original 70 episodes. That'd be nice. I mean, I just want to shoot that out there because I could go with some. But then again, once again, it's a TV series, so the little specks and bits and pieces of everything, it's nostalgia. It's nostalgia, and that's what the problem is. Everybody's looking for nostalgia. They're looking for the original. Well, this wasn't presented to be the original. He didn't try to present it to be the original. I don't think that was what his intentions were. I think this was an homage. Okay, I think this was a passion piece. I think that this is something that he felt like he was doing out of love for the characters in the franchise. That's it. And I got to tell you, I looked at it with kids' eyes and I enjoyed it. And with that said, my friends, check it out. Just check it out. Just give it a shot. If you've already seen it, maybe you should watch it again. Maybe you might want to throw it, press play again, and try to bring yourself back to that 6 or 7-year-old child if you can remember that far back. And I don't know how you were raised, but this is the way I was raised. I was raised in front of the TV. Okay, I learned the facts of life by watching the facts of life. Okay, I was raised by the Brady Bunch. Okay, so I was in front of the TV. Matter of fact, after watching this thing, I started looking for the Monkeys TV series stuff. I own it on DVD. I was like, maybe I should upgrade the Blu-ray because it brought me it brought me back to that little boy sitting, crisscross position on the rug, the center rug, or whatever they call it, the drop rug. The rug, the round rug in the middle of the hardwood floor that they would put. What do you call that rug? I don't know. For whatever. And just sitting there with my little popcorn and my little cup of soda or whatever, and it just brought me back. It brought me back to a childhood position. Okay, and I think the problem is that a lot of people that are reviewing this are looking at it in an adult fan point of view. That's my opinion. And with that said, my friends, check it out, and I will see you later.